Okay. Mm. Right. Your mic ain't on. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay. Oh, the Lord's prayer. Right now. Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. Hey, y'all, little ones, get some head coverings. All right, we finna face Jerusalem, and we finna open up the Lord's prayer.
Our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come.
thy will be done in earth
Thy will be done in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread,
Give us this day our daily bread,
and forgive us our debts
and forgive us our debts
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory.
and the glory.
In Jesus' name we pray,
In Jesus' name we pray.
forever.
Forever. Amen.
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 My bad, I messed it up. My bad, I messed it up anyway.
All right, Q&A, question and answers, questions pertaining to the Bible, questions pertaining to the lesson, um, questions that we just may be dealing with throughout the week. This is the platform where we try to answer the question the best we can according to the Bible. I am not all knowing. So with that being said, anything that I cannot answer, I will definitely get wise counseling and get back with you at a later date if you haven't already gotten the wise counseling. So with that being said, yeah, there you go, Griff. Yep. With that being said, we usually do 2 inside, 2 outside. Anybody in house that may have a question, step to the mound and present thy cause. I ain't got no question. Ah, that's a sweet wife. She definitely. Happy spouse, happy house. That's what's up.
Pray for me out there in YouTube world. All right.
Any questions? Yes, ma'am. To what? Oh, I think it's something in James. James chapter 1 about bridling the tongue on.
That's the first question we're going to.
Oh, I don't know. I think she just was looking for the spot. Ah, okay. No, ain't nothing wrong with that. No, what I'm saying is like, yeah, about reading it and working on yourself. And then it's something in Proverbs too about a froward mouth.
Oh,
Like, do God, the Lord don't like that. It's an abomination or something like that.
oh,
Oh, you want that one?
Proverbs.
Oh, okay. Proverbs 20. Oh, I'll tell you when I see it. Oh, was it a question? Okay, give me a second. Let me find it for you. Proverbs 20. Yeah, Proverbs 6. No, that ain't it. Hold on. I ain't want to use the phone, but I'm gonna use it though. Technology. I'm gonna use technology.
Hmm.
Proverbs 4, but it's a few of them. Proverbs 8. Yeah, that's the one right there that you want to read right there. Proverbs 8 and 13. You want us to read it? What's that? The speaker? Okay. Are you wanting us to read, or you? Are you good? Oh, you just want to know where it was at? Oh, okay. Well, yeah. There you go. Right there. Proverbs 8 and 13. Hey, I wanted to kind of touch on something real quick though, since we ain't got none. So touching on, let me find the script first. I guess numbers 26, I think. Oh, it's already highlighted.
Hmm. Better than it was. It's better than it was. Yeah. Still a long way to go. still, still a long way to go, but better than it was.
Uh, hey, so it was something that I wanted to touch on.
Yes, sir.
And it's really just about feasting on the Sabbath, the weekly Sabbath. You know, just to read a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that today is we're in the midst of the Feast of Tabernacles. And the Lord said feast 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're gonna do just that. Hey, if the weekly Sabbath falls in the midst of high Sabbath, it's like the high Sabbath will somewhat trump the weekly Sabbath. Only far as in feasting. Anything outside of feasting, like we still not fit to indulge in sexual pleasures, married couples. We still not indulging in that because that ain't got nothing to do with the feast. We talking about rejoicing before the Lord. You got 6 days to do that, but when it comes to what the sisters did today, that's all a part of the feast, and that's for those that may be new to this and just only thought that, oh man, the weekly Sabbath, is just what it is. No cooking, any of that. But nah, we're in the middle of the feast, right? So we're gonna let's look at a few places, and let's look at Leviticus real quick. Leviticus 23, because we kind of read it in the lesson, but Leviticus chapter 23 is always the blueprint of dealing with the Lord's feast days. That's always going to be inside of a feast day lesson for the most part. All right, so let's look at Leviticus chapter 23, and let's go dealing with the Feast of Tabernacles. So let's start at 33. Leviticus 23 and 33. Go ahead, bro.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this of the 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord.
So we're going to feast 7 days unto the Lord. We're going to feast on the 8th day as well. But, the Lord is saying, hey, 7 days, right? It's going to be what? The Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. Verse 35.
On the first day shall be a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
And servile work, that's, servitude. You going to your jobs, for wages. That would be servile. Well, you're not going to do any of that, right? Because skip up to verse 6. Verse 3. Go all the way back to verse 3 and let's look at the weekly Sabbath. Look at what it says pertaining to the weekly Sabbath. Go ahead, bro. Verse 3.
6 days shall work be done.
Yep.
But the 7th day is the Sabbath day of rest.
Go ahead.
And holy convocation.
So you're supposed to have church. That's what we're talking about, holy convocation. Or as to what we learned today, hey, we're going to congregate. We're going to come together because we've been summoned by the Lord to come and have a holy gathering or a holy convocation, right? What else it say, though?
You shall do no work therein.
You see that? It said pertaining to the weekly Sabbath, no work therein, right? Keep reading.
It is the Sabbath day of the Lord in all your dwellings.
Skip down now to verse 27 and give me that. Go ahead.
Also on the 10th day of this 7th month,
yep,
there shall be a day of atonement.
Keep going.
It shall be a holy convocation unto you.
So we're supposed to have church on this day as well. We're supposed to all come together, have a holy gathering, right? But it said what? The 10th day of this 7th month. And it shall be a holy convocation unto you. What else it say?
And you shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Keep going.
And you shall do no work in that same day.
No work. So we see the weekly Sabbath, no work. We see the Day of Atonement, no work. But hey, if we go back and look at unleavened bread, it says servile. If we go back and look at trumpets, it says servile work. If we look at this feast, it said no servile work. Right? So now we can skip back to 35. And go ahead and read that again.
On the first day shall be a holy convocation.
Yep.
And you shall do no servile work therein.
Now let's jump back up real quick. Jump back up real quick to verse 5 and give me that.
In the 14th day of the first month, at even in the Lord's Passover.
Go ahead.
And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord.
What else it say?
7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
So that's another feast that we already had earlier in the year, right? 7 days, no. It says 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. But what is saying verse 7 though?
In the first day you shall have in holy convocation.
Yep.
You shall do no servile work therein.
You see that? So unleavened bread, tabernacles, Pentecost, they practically saying the same thing, right? When it comes to working, right? It says, ye shall do no servile work. Hold your fingers right here. Let's go to Exodus 12. Exodus 12. And let's look at the Passover leading you up to unleavened bread. Exodus 12. And let's read. Let's go ahead and jump right to it. 16. Exodus 12 and verse 16. Go ahead.
And in the first day there shall be a holy convocation. And in the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation to you.
No, I'm sorry. Read. Start at 15.
7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread.
Yep.
Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your house.
Now we just saw unleavened bread in Leviticus 23. And it told us that, hey, we're going to eat unleavened bread for 7 days. So coming over here to Exodus chapter 12, we still touching on the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So it says 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you shall put away leaven out of your houses. And we know, we go to what? 1 Corinthians, I want to say 7 or 4 is, the leaven represents sin. Unleavened, you being without sin. But it's really talking about physical unleavened bread that you are to eat, which is the bread that don't rise. And you're to put away the leavened bread, which does rise, out of your houses for 7 days. Keep going. What else it say, bro?
For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
Keep going. Now check this out. This is what we came here for. Go ahead.
And in the first day there shall be a holy convocation. And in the 7th day there shall be a holy convocation.
Go ahead.
To you. No manner of work shall be done in them.
Say what? Save
that which every man must eat.
Yep.
That only may be done of you.
You see that? So everybody got to eat at these feasts. So the only manner of work that we're going to be doing is putting food together, cooking, preparation. Things to that effect. That's what we're going to be doing on those feast days when it tell you no servile work. So unleavened bread, it says no servile work. Trumpets, it says no servile work. Pentecost, it says no servile work. Tabernacles, it says no servile work. So on those days, those are high holy days where we're going to be feasting and we're going to be rejoicing before the Lord. So even right here in Exodus 12, it's telling you no manner of work shall be done save that which every man must eat. Now let's go back to Numbers. We ain't got to go back to Leviticus because Julius, he going to touch on them booths. I ain't touch on the booths because, the booths that we supposed to be dwelling in, it take you to something else. It's gonna take you really into the 8th day as to what it's really all about. But let's look at Numbers 29 though. Numbers 29, and let's pick it up at verse 10 because reading this Leviticus 29, right, it's an 8-day feast. You know what I mean? We're going to be rejoicing because we're going to come together on the 8th day. But in between, we're going to be feasting day 2, 3, 4, 5. We on the 5th day now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we on the 5th day. So day 6 tomorrow. Day 7 on Monday and the 8th day on Tuesday. Like, that's going to be the climax of the whole Feast of Tabernacles, the 8th day. But in between that, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we supposed to still be coming together, rejoicing, feasting, right? So when we read this Numbers 29, it's going to really be showing just that. It's going to be showing that, hey, these boys was feasting. So happened if the weekly Sabbath fell in between those feasting days, you still rejoicing and feasting. And that's what we finna read right here. So Numbers 29, and give me verse 10.
A several tenth.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Start at verse. Start at 12, my bad. Verse 12.
And on the 15th day of the 7th month, you shall have a holy convocation.
Yep.
You shall do no servile work, and you shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days.
You see that? So, hey, you supposed to keep a feast to the Lord 7 days. We just read that, right? Mm-hmm. We read that in Leviticus 23. So now, look at what's going to be going on in between the feasts. They're going to be doing something, offering things up unto the Lord for 8 days. But we're going to see something with the amount of offerings they're going to be offering each day. What is saying verse 13, bro?
And you shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet savory unto the Lord. 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year. They shall be without blemish.
Go ahead.
And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3/10 deal unto every bullock of the 13 bullocks, 2/10 deal to each ram of the 2 rams.
Yep.
And a several tenth deal to each lamb of the 14 lambs.
Go ahead.
And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering.
Yep.
Beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drinking offering.
His drink offering, right? Now let's go to day number 2. Look at what it's saying, 17.
And on the 2nd day, you shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot.
All right, skip down now to verse 20.
And on the 3rd day, 11 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish.
Skip down to 23 now.
And on the 4th day, 10 bullocks.
So we see what's happening, right?
And 14.
The amounts are getting less and less as we going along. But you know what's happening with these offerings, right? They're getting ate. Like, they offering up these sacrifices, but the people are eating these sacrifices. You know what I mean? They cooking them, or what? I mean, the sacrifice ain't a sacrifice unless they got fire up under it. You know, so the sacrifices are being offered up, but as we see each day go by, the sacrifices are getting less and less. So we went from what? 12, we went from 14 to 12 to 11 to 10. Skip down now to verse 26 and give me that.
And on the 5th day, 9 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without spot.
Skip down now to verse. Okay, skip down now. Where we at? 29.
And on the 6th day, 8 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish.
Skip down now to verse 32.
And on the 7th day, 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish.
Skip down now to verse 35.
On the 8th day, you shall have a solemn assembly.
Yep.
You shall do no servile work therein.
Go ahead.
But you shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without blemish.
So we see that, hey, they was offering up sacrifices continually, you know, even through the weekly Sabbath. You know, so go over here to John real quick. John chapter 7, but I don't know if we even need to come to 7 though. Let me see something. Nah, we don't need to come to John 7. But you know, I mean John 7 just showing that Jesus kept the Feast of Tabernacles. But I mean just to show us that you know, if anybody just, you know, I think me and Josh was talking about that last night. Is that, you know, certain people feel as if like, hey, no cooking today, you know, because it's the weekly Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, if that was the case, man, I'm pretty sure God would have said it. You know what I mean? But just looking at, you know, Numbers 29, you know, it's just kind of showing how it was a continual burning of the sacrifices or offerings unto the Lord all the way up to the 8th day. So that's all I wanted to, you know, just add out, just to clear up anything, if, you know. So any comments to that? Praise the Lord. No questions? Shoot, we fit on. Judah? What you got, Judah? Shoot. Hey. But we're gonna close out if let me look at we'll really give it to 540. Kid over there. Yeah, they are. I mean, they doing but they doing Q&A though. Yeah. Like everybody doing Q&A. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, like Toronto on right now. Um,
I was feasting.
yeah. Toronto on. Hey, but we 7 more minutes. We going. It ain't. You got. Oh yeah, Judah. Hey, man, we got to 5:35. 1 minute. Hey, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think me and Lee might be the only one. Yeah. Huh? For real? She got a question. You handle the mic. Dang, I feel the clock. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Since I'm just joking for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's learn. Let's learn. Mm.
I ain't laughing at you. I'm just laughing at. Oh, okay. Hey, let's go to Ecclesiastes real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Mm, Ecclesiastics. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses be on. Yeah, that's what they be on real heavy, like, but no, no. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. It might be 3 or it might be 8. I know it when I get there. Hold on for a second. Ecclesiastics. Nah, but I just know that that's what they be on. And like, people have died behind that.
Mm-hmm.
They have really died behind the fact that, they preach it telling them like you can't get a blood transfusion, but that's crazy. You know. I mean, if my child needed a blood transfusion, then we gonna do that. But over here in Ecclesiastics, um, wisdom give life. Not 3. Did I say 3? Ecclesiastes 7.
So,
Yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 7. I ain't have to use the phone for that one. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. And let's read 17. Start at verse 16 though. Go ahead.
be not righteous over much,
Yep.
neither make thyself over
Now
wise.
look at that. It says neither make thyself overwise, right? Because like, hey, you trying to be overwise. Look at what it could do to you. What else it say, bro?
Why shouldest thou destroy thyself?
Because you can. You trying to be so wise in the matter, and it ain't even that deep. But you know what you're doing? You about to destroy yourself. You know what I mean? Because of the fact that, nah, man, some things don't have to be measured with that type of measuring stick. It really don't. Because look at what else the rest of say. Go ahead, bro.
Be not over much wicked,
Yep.
neither be thou foolish.
Go ahead.
Why shouldest thou die before thy time?
You see that? Because that's what's going to eventually happen. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you're gonna take yourself so deep and so far out there until you're gonna destroy yourself. But really, what he's talking about in this verse 17, hey, man, don't be full of wickedness. You know what I mean? Don't be foolish. Because I mean, not to be bashing Jehovah's Witnesses, but that's foolish though. Because of the fact that, you God ain't tell you to do that. God told you to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove when dealing with the people. He also said this. Go to Hebrews chapter 1. Hebrews chapter 1. Hold on, no, that ain't it. Hold on. I gotta use my app for this one. Hold on. Yep. There you go. Proverbs chapter 4. Same writer of Ecclesiastes, he wrote this in Proverbs. And the Lord gave him mad wisdom. I mean, mad wisdom. So, hey, we could use some of this, right? Mm-hmm. So, Proverbs chapter 4. Mm-mm. And look at what verse 7 reads. Proverbs 4 and 7. Go ahead.
Wisdom is the principal thing.
You see that? Wisdom is the principal thing. Like, in other words, like, you need some type of wisdom. God's wisdom, though. You know, not our own wisdom, because our own wisdom, hey, can't get you here to the CVS across the street. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Right. So we need God's wisdom, right? Mm-hmm. So it's telling us, like, wisdom is the principal thing. What else it says?
Therefore, get wisdom.
You see that? Because you need to get this. You need to get God's wisdom, and what else?
And with all thy getting, get understanding.
You see that? Get some understanding. You know, with all your wisdom, get understanding. Mm-hmm. Right? Let's go over here now to Matthew. Matthew chapter, I want to say 6. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Good, do evil, do good. Go to Matthew chapter 12. I said 6, but it's 12. Matthew 12. Matthew 12 and we'll start at verse. Start at verse 3. Now this dealing with the Sabbath, right? This ain't so much like, cause we know what happens on the Sabbath, right? Mm-hmm. So this is what Jesus dealing with. But if Jesus is this, harsh on the Sabbath, or if he's, letting some type of things take place on the Sabbath, right? Like, he wouldn't necessarily have to address it in this Matthew 12, if there was a problem with it happening 6 days a week, if that make any sense. You know what I mean? Because let's just read it and we'll see what it's talking about. Matthew chapter 12 and let's pick it up at verse 1. Go ahead.
At that time, Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, mm-hmm. and his disciples were in hunger. Yep. And began to pluck the ears of corn.
Now this is still, along the lines of the blood transfusion. It ain't talking about the blood transfusion in this, but we just came to this Matthew 12 mm-hmm. to just look at, things that could be done on the Sabbath that we typically can't do. All right. So he says that he said, they was feeding themselves, pluck the ears of the corn and to eat. Verse 2.
But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day.
Yep. Go ahead, keep going.
But he said unto them, Have you not read what David did
Yep.
when he was in hunger, and they that were with him?
Mm-hmm.
He entered into the house of God and did eat the shewbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests.
So even what we're reading right now, 3 through 4, right? That ain't even got nothing to do with the Sabbath. He just showing you that, hey, look here. David went into the temple and ate things that was holy only unto the priests. But he fed himself because he was in hunger. So in other words, like, hey man, these people was hungry. They fed themselves, right? But look at the example God is giving. God is giving you an example that isn't even related to the Sabbath. It's just showing you that, hey man, if you're hungry, feed yourself. Whether it's on the Sabbath or not the Sabbath, right? Keep going though. What else you say, bro? Verse 5.
Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless?
You see that they blameless. Things got to take place on the Sabbath that shouldn't take place, but they have to in order for services to be properly performed. Guess what? They do these things and they not even held accountable for them. They held blameless of them, right? Keep reading, bro.
But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple.
Yep.
But if ye have known what this meaneth, I have mercy and not sacrifice, ye would not have condemned the guiltless.
You see that? You wouldn't have condemned the guiltless, right? Skip down to verse 12 and let's just go ahead and jump right into it. I'll read 11 and 12. Go ahead, bro.
And he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out?
Yep. So hey, man, if you got one sheep, right, this is your only sheep. Hey, he fall into the pit. You ain't going to just look at him and be like, oh, it's a Sabbath, I can't get you out. That's your only sheep. You're going to go get him, right? What it say in verse 12?
How much then is a man better than a sheep?
See, man is better than the sheep. Keep going.
Wherefore it is lawful to do well on the Sabbath days.
So if the Lord is allowing you to do well or do lawful things on the Sabbath, meaning Zion just drop out or she just hit her head against something real bad and we got to rush her to the emergency room, we're going to do that. That's doing good on the Sabbath. Take the Sabbath away now. A child of yours get into a real bad car wreck. Like they need blood transfusion. You're going to get the blood transfusion. Because God already said, why be overwise? You're going to destroy yourself. You know what I mean? Like, no, get the help that's needed for the child. So even right here, you know, Jesus like, hey, man, do lawful. You can do good on the Sabbath. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if we need to call the fire department in here to resuscitate, I don't know, me or somebody, hey, do that. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's not that I recall anything written in the Bible where it's a sin to or it's wrong. Go to 1 John real quick. It's a sin to get a blood transfusion. Nah, that's not biblical. That's you being wise. That's what that is. Look at this 1 John chapter 3 though. Because the Bible gives you a biblical definition of what sin is or what is wrong in the eyes of God. 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Go ahead, bro.
Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law.
Hey, so whosoever commits sin, they break the law or they transgress also the law. Go ahead.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
You see that? Sin is the transgression of the law. Hey, you going and getting a blood transfusion, what sin is that? What am I doing? I ain't eating the blood. I'm just getting the blood because I may need it to save my life. So nah, it ain't nothing wrong with that, sis. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No problem. Yeah, I knew somebody was gonna pop on here. It's all good. I made a vow to God and broke it. I realize it's hard. It's a hard vow for me to honestly keep. I did that out of emotions. What do I do now? Hey, one thing I learned from one of my teachers, like the Nike commercial, just do it. You know what I mean? Like you ain't really got to vow yourself unto God. Just do it. Cause now when you make this vow, now, hey, you lying to the Lord. You know, so go to Deuteronomy real quick. You lying and just really do it. You know what I mean? That's because I made a vow. I don't stuck strong to that vow. Hey, my vow was not to smoke marijuana no more. That was my vow, and I don't held that vow. I don't lost the count, but I mean it's been over. I don't know, several years. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying is, and I did that in fear when I made that vow. I haven't went back on it because in my mind, I even been told by brothers, "Hey man, like, okay, you made the vow, but what if it's legal? You know, the Lord knew that you. Nah, bro, I'm straight. I'm not going back on that because I'm fearful of. Hey, the minute I take a drag of a blunt, the Lord might pull my breath right from up out of me. That's the fear that I have. So I stick hold to that vow, but like, nah, I've had some temptations of it. You know what I mean? Going back down that road. But hey, I've stayed strong from it because, hey, even tempting to go back down that road, the Lord don't jack me up. I'm driving an 18-wheeler, and hey, the Lord threw a bird in my windshield. Seriously, because I was playing around with it. That incident happened, that scared the living daylights out of me. I didn't try to tempt it, and I was trying to be slick, right? I was trying to be slick. It ain't marijuana. It's just, CDC. Like, that's me being slick. But nah, you got to realize, like, you can't out trick God because he know all your thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. Before we go here, go to Numbers chapter, go to Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Cause I mean, hey, hey, ask for forgiveness. If you broke the vow, ask for forgiveness at this moment. You don't broke it now, so to just say, "Oh, I'm gonna keep the vow now," nah, just ask for forgiveness and pray that the Lord have mercy. Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Just pray that the Lord have mercy. Because look at what it says over here in this Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, and go ahead and start at verse 1. Just like I said, just like, hey, just do it. You know what I mean? And if you can't do it, then pray and fast on it. But look at what you didn't do. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, and go ahead and read, bro. Verse 1.
Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God.
Go ahead.
And be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of food.
Yep.
For they consider not that they do evil.
So in other words, hey, be ready to hear more than to offer up a sacrifice. But in other words, what verse 1 is getting at is like, hey, don't be so quick to make rash decisions. That's what verse 1 is really getting at. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, be quick to hear instead of trying to offer up a sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like, do that first, because look at what it said in verse 2.
Be not rash with thy mouth.
Yep.
And let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God.
You see that? Don't do that. That's what I did. I was hasty. I uttered it before God. Hey, I ain't doing it no more, Lord. You give me life. Like, I was hasty. Now I got to hold to those words, right? and even you, Israel. But hey, if you don't broke it, hey, let's not go down that lane again. So we see that it says, hey, be not rash with thy mouth, let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For what?
For God is in heaven,
Yep.
and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few.
Let thy words be few. Go ahead.
For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by a multitude of words.
You see what God is calling your voice? He says your voice is a fool's voice. Like verse 4.
When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it,
Yep.
for he hath no pleasure in fools.
Yep.
Pay that which thou hast vowed.
You see that? Pay that which thou hast vowed. Now look at what it said in verse 5. Go ahead.
Better is it that thou shouldest not vow.
You see that? Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than what?
Than that thou shouldest vow and not pay.
You see that? Because now, hey, Solomon is letting you know, hey, it's better for you not to even vow than to vow and not pay. Because look at what it said in verse 6.
Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin.
You see that? That's what it's leading into. Sin, because what else?
Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error.
You see that? Don't be talking about, I made a mistake. I ain't really mean that. No, it's too late. You don't wrote a check you can't cash. That's what you just did. So it says what? It says, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before an angel that it was an error. Go ahead, bro.
Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice?
You see that? God going to be angry at your voice. And what else it says?
And destroy the work of thy hands.
You see that? And you don't want that. You don't want God to be upset with your voice. That means every time you praying to him, he upset. He ain't even trying to hear your prayers. Because of the fact that you don't vow this vow. Now you don't cause your flesh to sin. Go to Deuteronomy 23 now. That'd be funny hearing little babies try to communicate. That's what he doing. Yeah. Yeah, because he was saying hallelujah, hallelujah. Deuteronomy 23, 21.
When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay it.
You see that? Thou shalt not slack to pay it. Go ahead.
For the Lord thy God will surely require it of thee. And it would be sin in thee.
It'll be sin in thee if you don't pay up. Go ahead.
But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee.
Keep reading.
That which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform. Even a free willing offering, according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God, which thou hast promised with thy mouth.
So, hey, Israel, hey, let your yea be your yea and your nay your nay. In other words, man, assist. Hey, just do it. That's what one of my teachers told me years ago, man. He said, just do it, man. So before you go before God making a vow, because now you bound yourself to this vow, and if you go back on it, the Lord going to be angry at your voice, and he going to destroy the works of your hands. So, be careful right now, man. I would just repent and just pray for mercy and work at whatever you have vowed to the Lord. Work at not doing it, fasting and praying before you make this vow and you go back on your word again. So just do it. You know what I mean? With fasting and praying. And at this point, man, you trying to go back on a vow that you already broke. You broke it. Pick yourself up. Ask for forgiveness. Don't let it happen again. All right. So with that being said, anybody got a comment to that? All right. Okay. Oh, you got the mic. What you guys says? Hey, it's pouring out. Just pick it up real quick.
Okay,
Don't.
so okay, so I have a question about like when it says in the Bible to be pure at heart,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wondering like how do we like have a pure heart? Because I feel like it sometimes when I do things, I'm just not always like sometimes my heart isn't always pure as it should be, you know. And I was like, how do we know when we are working with a pure heart? Like how do like and then how can we?
Mm. That's a good question. Um, so let's go and look at let's go and read that. Let's go to First Peter chapter 1. Is that where you read it at? Or did you read it in Timothy? I know it's a few in Timothy. And there's one.
Like only the pure at heart
Oh, that's
see
Matthew
God.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Matthew 5. Okay. All right, we're gonna go there because I was gonna go there anyways. But so let's go to First Peter then. Hold on for a second. Nah, I like First Timothy. Let's go to First Timothy chapter 1. We're gonna go to First Timothy chapter 1. We're gonna go to First Peter 2. But let's go to First Timothy chapter 1 right now. First Timothy chapter 1. Then we're gonna go to Matthew 5. Then we're gonna go some other places. So First Timothy chapter 1. And let's pick it up at verse 5. Go ahead.
Now the end of the commandment is charity out of pure heart.
You see that, Ace? It said charity out of a pure heart, right? So, according to 1 Corinthians, I want to say 13 or 14, charity is really love, right? So, but it's out of a pure heart, right? Meaning like you ain't doing this with stipulations attached. You naturally doing this. This is the next level up to just keeping the commandments is what? Fruits of the Spirit, right? So it says what? Now the end of the commandment is charity out of pure heart and what?
And of a good conscience.
Yep.
And of faith unformed.
Unfeigned. You see that means it's unbearable. You know what I mean? Like your faith ain't got no limit to it. Be careful with that. Your faith ain't got no limitation on it. You know what I mean? It's great faith, right? But it said what? It said faith unfeigned. In other locations, it says love unfeigned. meaning it's sincere, right? But we just see that it said what? Now the end of the commandment is charity out of a pure heart. Let's go over here now to 1 Peter now. 1 Peter chapter 1. 1 Peter chapter 1. And it's really just talking about pure at your mind. Micah, be careful about this stand. It's really just talking about being really pure at the mind. Because the heart, like the heart is really, the heart is just pumps blood through your body. That's all the heart is doing. It has a little electric currents going through it just to really shock the heart so it doesn't get arrhythmia. That means, your heart don't skip the beat, or you might be having, a mild case of cardiac arrest, right? But it's supposed to shock the heart to keep it boom, 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 boom. No thoughts traveling through the heart. It's really traveling through the mind. So the mind is really what's going to teach you how to be compassionate, teach you how to love somebody, teach you how to hate somebody, teach you how to, fear God. It's the mind, right? So when it says pure at heart, it's really talking about being pure at your mind, okay? So we see is that, hey, you're going to have charity, because that's what it says. It says the first commandment is charity of a pure heart. Now look at what it says in this 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 1. 1 Peter chapter 1, and let's read verse 22. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 22. When you get it, you can read it, bro.
Seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren.
You see that? There you go. Unfeigned faith we just saw in 1 Timothy, chapter 1 and verse 5. Unfeigned faith is really talking about, hey, your faith with no limitations, right? But even right here, now it's saying unfeigned love. Still talking about no limitations with your love. Ain't no, hey, you do this for me, I'm going to do this for you. No, because those are limitations. When there's no limitations, hey, you just doing it out of instinct. You know what I mean? Because this is who you naturally are. That's what Jesus was trying to show us. That's why he was rolling with the sinners. That's why he said, hey, man, ain't no need for me to come to those that are already here. You don't need a doctor. I'm here for the ones that are sick. So this is why the church people, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they was like, dude, you sitting at the table with publicans and sinners. Like, because they need a doctor. But he was doing this out of a natural love for his people, right? So it says what? It says in verse 22, it says, seeing ye have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit unto unfeigned love of the brethren. What else to say?
See that ye love one another with a pure heart fervently.
You see that with a pure heart fervently, right? Like this is your love is supposed to be, unreachable in a sense. Like you're supposed to have mad love, but this is that mind though. This is the pure at mind. Because what it said in verse 23, bro?
Being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible by the word of God, which liveth and abideth forever.
You see that? That's how you know it's talking about your mind. Because it's telling you, hey, not to be born again of the corruptible seed, but the incorruptible seed, right? But it's all right here. Go to Songs of Solomon real quick. Songs of Solomon. And it's out the, I think it's before Ecclesiastes. So it's Proverbs, Songs of Solomon, then Ecclesiastes. I was wrong. It's Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, then Songs of Solomon, then Isaiah. I was wrong. I had it twisted up in my head.
It's all good, brother.
It's
all good.
It's turned off? Oh, it was off. It was off. Yeah, it went on. It went on. Y'all always cold. Y'all always cold. That's why I took the cap off so y'all can control it. Look at this Songs of Solomon though.
Mm-hmm.
Songs of Solomon chapter 8.
Mm-hmm.
And check this out. Songs of Solomon 8. And go ahead and give me verse 6. Now, when you read Songs of Solomon, Solomon wrote this as well. Hey, this is a love ordeal between God and the church, Israel, right? So it's almost like, a love fantasy going about between the two. Now, look at what he say pertaining to his love, right? Songs of Solomon 8, and read verse 6 for me. Go ahead, bro.
Set me as a seal upon thy heart.
Yep, set me as a seal upon thy heart. Go ahead.
As a seal upon thine arm.
Yep.
For love is strong as death.
You see that? Hey, this love is strong as death. That's why Jesus was able to lay down his life for the sinners. Mm-hmm. Right? Because his love for redeeming the people back before God, that needed to happen. So it says right here, it says what? It says, for love is strong as death. What else it say?
Jealousy is cruel as the grave.
You see that? Jealousy is cruel as the grave. Mm-hmm. It really is. Because jealousy, can take you into envy, because jealousy and envy is not the same thing. But, one could lead into the next. Now what we got? Death on the table. Mm-hmm. But we see right here, right? It says jealousy is as cruel as the grave. What else?
The coals thereof are coals of fire, which has a most vehement flame. Vehement flame.
Yep, verse 7.
Many waters cannot quench love.
You see that? It says many waters cannot quench love. Seriously. You tie me out in a 13-foot pool, I'm going to drown. I mean, I could drown, but I could swim. But put an anchor around my foot and throw me in a 13-foot pool. I'm going to drown, right? But he's letting you know is that, you could drop love in a 13-foot pool. It ain't going to drown it. That's how great this love has to be. Because now it's pure. Now it's natural. Now you just doing it, not just because, I'm going to get something in return. I'm doing it because it's natural, right? So it says many waters cannot quench love. Neither what else?
Neither can the floods drown it.
You see that? It can't even be drowned, just talking about how great this love is. Go ahead, bro.
If a man will give all the substance of his house for love,
yep,
it will utterly be condemned.
You see that?
Contempted.
It will be utterly be contemned. Thanks, man. It'll be utterly contemned, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just saying though, if a man would give all his substance of his house for love, it can't even, it's not even an even exchange. It's not. Go over here to 2 Kings real quick. 1 Kings. One of them. We'll see it when we get there. I think it's 1 Kings though. Because what we're looking at, we looking at the pure at heart, sis, which is the mind. I'm taking you this route is because, charity is a great teacher. You know what I mean? Like, charity is a great teacher. And again, we all don't possess charity. You know what I mean? It's a process. Trust me. It's a process. Not 1 Kings, 2 Samuel. It's a process that we all working at, right? But it's a great teacher. It really is, because, once you obtain charity, you kind of got the battle halfway beat. Kind of. Right? But check this out, though. Then we're going to go look at what Jesus said. Hold on. Yes, yeah, I'm right. 2 Samuel, but it's verse. It's chapter 1 though.
Mm-hmm.
2 Samuel chapter 1. Look at the love. All the examples that we just been given, right? All what we've been showing, like unfeigned love. Like this it right here. This is an example of it. 2 Samuel chapter 1 and verse 25. Now, David just got the news that Saul and Jonathan just got killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan is a really, like, David and Jonathan was tight-knit. You know what I mean? Tight-knit to the point where look at what David said pertaining to Jonathan. Go ahead, bro.
How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle?
Yep.
O Jonathan, thou wast slain in thy high places.
Yep.
I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan.
Yep.
Very pleasant hast thou been unto me.
You see that? Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Go ahead.
Thy love to me was wondering,
Yep.
passing the love of women.
See that? His love was wonderful, passing the love of women. Meaning, like, hey, they was tight knit to the point where, like, David was like, man, the love that we had for one another was passing the love of women. Meaning, like, hey, he loved Jonathan like loving himself. And that's a clear example of what Jesus was talking about when saying, hey, love thy neighbor as thyself, or love your brethren as yourself. Like, that's an example, is that the love they had for one another was the love passing of women. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 5 real quick. Yeah, for real, because we got to put all them chairs right back again on Tuesday. Yeah, we're going to be here for Tuesday. Nah, you good. Hey, tire them out. Yeah, tire them out. Clean the tables off now. Sweep up the floors. Matthew 5. Oh no, I just want to let them keep going. I knew what you was doing for us, and let them keep going. Matthew 5. And these are the attitudes, right? When you look at Matthew 5, these are we call them the Beatitudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are the attitudes or the characteristics you want to have. You want to have these type of characteristics, right? And if you don't have them, you want to adopt them into your walk, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and pick it up at verse 3. Matthew 5 and verse 3. Go ahead, bro.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Yep.
Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be
Deja, get
comforted.
Judah, because he eating stuff off the floor. Get that out of his mouth. He got a top in his mouth. Go ahead, bro.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
They shall inherit the earth. Go ahead.
Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Yep. Go ahead.
Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
You see that? Hey, you got to give mercy in order to receive it, right? But what is saying verse 8 now, bro?
Blessed are the pure in heart.
Yep.
For they shall see God.
You see that? The ones that are pure at mind. Go to Proverbs 21 now. You're going to see God. Right? Because your mind got to be right. But you want to have this pure love towards your brother, though. Or towards your sister. You don't want to be, thinking malice within your mind towards them. Because guess what? You ain't going to see God.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ain't going to see God, where you going to be at? The only people that ain't going to see God, they going to be somewhere else away from God. Right? So you got to realize it's all mental when it comes to serving God. That's what Jesus trying to get you on. Hey, he trying to get your mental game right. Right? So even with that Matthew chapter 5, those are attitudes you want to have while being in this training tutorial, right? Training tutorial. So look at this Proverbs 21. And give me verse. Hold on. Proverbs 21. And I think I'll tell you. Proverbs 21. And give me verse 27. Go ahead.
The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination.
You see that? The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. Go ahead.
How much more when he bringeth it with a wicked mind?
You see that? You bring it with a wicked mind. The Lord said, hey, the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. Talking about their prayers. He ain't really talking about what you putting on the altar unto him, because the wicked ain't doing that. You know what I mean? We talking about what, you bring it to thought. That's why he said, how much more when he bring it with the wicked mind. You see that? That's what he's talking about. Hey, you dealing with some wickedness. And my correction, it is talking about, I just read, it is talking about a sacrifice. You know what I mean? A literal sacrifice. But we came here to look at the tail end of this verse 27. You bringing it with a wicked mind. Because that's why the Lord told you pertaining to the Passover. Or, hey, don't bring, no, he was talking about before if you don't reconcile with your brother, hey, don't bring your gift to the altar. Go and deal with that with your brother first before you bring a gift unto him. In the same sense, you can't be coming to God with a wicked mind. You know what I mean? Because, hey, it's not of a pure heart. These ain't the ones that's going to see God. So, it's something that we steady trying to work at. You know what I mean? It's an everyday job, working on ourselves, trying to better ourselves before God. So it's being pure at heart is, having that pure love towards your brother. You know what I mean? Doing things on a natural instinct instead of doing things with strings attached. You know what I mean? Like you naturally, love your brother or sister in the faith. Because Jesus, look at this Matthew 5 real quick. I just thought of something else. Matthew chapter 5. And Matthew chapter 5, and give me verse 44. Check this out, Matt. Look at this Matthew 5. No, look at this Matthew 5 and 43. Go ahead, bro.
Ye have heard that it has been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy.
You see that? Hey, that's what's been said, right? What is saying 44 though?
But I say unto you, love your enemy.
Yep.
Bless them that curse you.
Now that ain't easy now. But that's just letting you know it's the mental game that we dealing with here. You know what I mean? That lets you know that, hey, we got to get our mental right. This is why you got to be pure at mind. So it's telling you, hey, look here. Hey, you got to bless them that curse you. What else?
Do good to them that hate you.
Nobody ain't doing that really. Not on a major scale. Not on a major scale are you doing this. Hey, man, I know that person over there hate me, but hey, you want to go get a bite to eat sometime? Like, that's something hard to do, right? But the Lord is putting you on that pedestal though, because you could do it, right? So he's telling you, hey, you have heard you have heard that it had been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them that what?
And pray for them which despitefully use you.
Yep.
and persecute you.
You see that? Hey, what? I got to pray for them? I know they doing me wrong, and I got to pray for them? Yes, you do. Keep going, bro.
That ye may be the children of your Father,
Yep.
which is in heaven.
Yep.
For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good.
Yep.
And sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
46.
For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same.
You see that? That's easy for to love somebody who love you. That's real simple. I always said it's easy for me to love my wife because she loved me back. But what about what about your enemy though? But you love them though. Yeah. Yeah, she the same way. Sometimes she don't like me either. You know. but you gotta realize, like, what about your neighbor though? You know what I mean? Like, are you loving your neighbor like you love, you know what I mean, those that love you back? Because that's what Jesus getting at. Go ahead, bro. 47.
And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others?
Go ahead.
Do not even the publicans so?
Now look at what 48 say, because 48 is a kicker though. It really is, because look at what it say. Go ahead.
Be ye therefore perfect,
Yep.
even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Because if you can obtain these, hey, you perfect. You know what I mean? Like if you could pray for the ones that despitefully use you. You know what I mean? You could bless them that curse you. Like, you know, that's something that, hey, you don't possess within your walk. Now, Jesus said, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. You know what I mean? So, you know, you don't made a major accomplishment when you operating like this in the eyes of God. So, you know, pure at heart, or pure at mind is really. Can you show what the difference is in jealousy and envy? Okay, so the pure at heart, right? The pure at heart is really, you know, pure at mind, and like, you know, you don't want to have, you know, limitations to that. So that's kind of all I got on that. Anybody got any comments to that? All right, you good with that, sis? You clear? All right, cool. All right, so can you show what the difference is in jealousy and envy? All right, cool. Jealousy. Let's look at Hold on for a second. I'm trying to think. Go to Deuteronomy real quick. Deuteronomy on. I can borrow your charger. Is it a charger over there by there? In that wall right there? It ain't one. I can use it. Oh, she got it. She's sending it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we already answered one of them. I see the other one. Go to Deuteronomy on, or is that two new questions? What's the names? 29. That's 2. It's just 2 on there, right? I think we just answered. Is it Israel? One of them. Yeah, we answered. We finna answer Cam now. Deuteronomy 29. I'm trying to think. Right. Okay. Deuteronomy 29. I got it now. Deuteronomy 29 and 29 and 20. Hold on. No, that ain't what I want. Hold on, that ain't what I want. Hold on. And his. Yeah. Exodus 34, not Deuteronomy. I put the wrong word in the search engine in my Bible app. That's what I was looking for though. Exodus 34, right? Because you got to realize like jealousy and envy, right? Jealousy is what we finna read right here, right? But envy is like, don't always have nothing to do with jealousy. Envy is just really you have some type of hate or some malice towards somebody. But it doesn't have to be because of what they got. It could just be how you feel towards the individual or what they made you feel like, or they may have said something to you. So now, hey, you just let that whole statement they made to you go for weeks and weeks long. Now you don't build up some type of rage. Now you envying of them, right? Envious, right? But look at this Exodus though. Look at this Exodus 34, right? Because I could be jealous of my son calling somebody else dad. I could be jealous of that because that's my son. What you calling them dad for, right? The same right here with Exodus 34, why God is called one of his names. Look at one of God's other names. Exodus 34 and read verse 14. Go ahead, bro.
For thou shalt worship no other God.
You see that? Hey, he telling you don't worship no other gods for what?
For the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God.
You see that? Hey, his name is jealous. He's a jealous God. Because he don't want you worshiping and serving any other gods. He wants you to worship and serve him only. So he's jealous. That's why in the commandment he tell you not to. Let's go and read that. Exodus 20 real quick. His name is jealous. And look at what it say. Deuteronomy chapter 20. And go ahead and give me verse 4 and 5. I'm sorry, Exodus 20, 4 and 5. I'm sorry about that. Exodus 20, 4 and 5. Go ahead, bro.
Thou shalt not make any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Yep.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
You see that? He's jealous if you're going to bow down and worship these other gods that ain't got nothing to do with you. Not only that, they're not even gods. They just wood and stone and whatever else they make gods out of. But they're not real. Like in Psalms, it tell you at the end of the day when you're done with that tree, hey, you turn into some good burning wood. You know what I mean? Or you use certain parts of it to eat food with. So God is jealous of that, right? But he's telling you is that, hey, I'm a jealous God. That's a feeling that he has towards Israel worshiping of other gods, right? Go to Numbers chapter 5 now. Numbers chapter 5. Now let's bring it down to man. Right? Because like I was just saying is that, hey, I get jealous of, if my son called another man dad, hey, I'll be jealous. Just like if my wife, started dealing with another man on the side. I'm just saying, though, I would be jealous of that, right? But they can, one can lead to the other. You know what I mean? Because, but they're not the same. One can lead to the other. I can get jealous and then I can be envious, right? But I don't have to be jealous to be envious. I could just be envious because, shoot, he cut me off at a stoplight. Now I got road rage. Now I'm envious of that, right? So look at this Numbers chapter 5, though. Numbers chapter 5. And go ahead and pick it up at verse 11. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from his eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither shall be taken with the manner.
What is it in 14?
And the spirit of jealousy comes upon him.
We ain't got to read. Well, finish up 14. Go ahead.
And the spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled.
Hey, he got a jealous spirit on him. Because he thinking that, hey, his wife done went aside and committed a trespass. But he got the spirit of jealousy up on him because that's his wife. That's his companion. He's jealous of that. Just like God his name is jealousy. And he has an issue with you worshiping and serving other gods. He has a problem with that. So we see as God, God, his name is jealous. Then we also can see is that, we can have a spirit of jealousy upon us, how we may feel towards, our companions being favorable to somebody else. Like, we can get jealous of that, right? So let's go over here now to Matthew 7. Matthew 7. And we just looked at the jealousy, right? Or the jealous aspect. Now we want to touch on a little bit of this envy, right? Matthew chapter 7. Pop his little hand. That's what I do. Pop. Hold on, let me find it. Hold on. Matthew 15. That's what I just said? No, I ain't say that, but I turned here. I turned here looking for it. I couldn't. Oh, okay, it's right there in 19. All right, Matthew 15. And pick it up at hold on for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, scratch this. This ain't what I'm looking for. Go to Job real quick. Job chapter 5. My bad, you guys. That's why the Bible say, hey, be ye angry and sin not. Cause like, hey, you gotta realize, man, like that anger can turn into rage. And then rage, it can turn into you killing somebody, or you doing something real regretful, right? But look at this though. Look at this Job chapter 5. Job chapter 5. Go ahead and pick it up at verse. Yeah, I got another one. Pick it up at Job 5 and verse 1. Go ahead, bro.
Call now, if there be any that will answer thee,
Mm-hmm.
and to which of the saints wilt thou turn?
Go ahead, verse
For
2.
wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one.
So wrath, it says, so wrath, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says, wrath killeth the foolish man. Go over there, boy. Wrath killeth the foolish man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it says, and envy slay the silly man. What is it say in verse 3?
I have seen the foolish taking root, but suddenly I curse his habitation.
The Lord said he cursed his habitation. Go to this Proverbs real quick. Proverbs 27. If that wasn't clear to you, this might be a little clearer. Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27.
Mm-hmm.
Get off that floor, boy. Proverbs 27. And go ahead and give me on. Go ahead and start at verse 1. Go ahead.
Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth.
Go ahead.
Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth,
Yep.
a stranger and not thine own lips.
Go ahead.
A stone is heavy.
A stone is
and
heavy.
The sand weighty.
You see that? Hey, a stone is heavy and the sand weighty. What else?
But a fool's wrath is heavier than them both.
We know what a bag of, them sandbags, how heavy they are. We know what them heavy stones feel like, right? Mm-hmm. But the Bible say a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Go ahead.
Wrath is cruel.
Yep.
And anger is outrageous.
You see that? Wrath is cruel. Anger is outrageous. Go ahead.
But who is able to stand before envy?
Who is able to stand before envy? Like, wrath is cruel, right? Anger can be outrageous. Mm-hmm. But, hey, who can stand before envy? Hold on for a second. And it looked like, I may be wrong, but it looked like envy is just you being really mad at somebody. Like you being really upset. You're being really upset. You feeling really upset. Hold on for a second. Hey, and I think I could be wrong though, Cam. It looked just from looking at it, it looked like jealousy and envy. They almost kind of like parallel one to another. See, yeah, it looked like in Ezekiel 35, right? According to thy envy, which thou hast used out of hatred. See, yeah, it looked like I said, bro. I think I'm wrong. I think they're the same, bro. And I think I made a statement to the sister when explaining something, but I think I had made that statement towards you, Antoinette, saying jealousy. It's something else that's not the same. Jealousy and I know jealousy and hatred is not the same, but yeah. I made a statement to you, Antoinette, about jealousy and envy. They're not the same. Just from reading scriptures, they look the same. So that was an incorrect statement that I had made to you, and then just it's no real difference, Cam. Like they the same. It's jealousy and something else though. Cause I remember it's I can't think of the term. It's a simple term too, not malice. It's jealous and hold on. But yeah though, Cam, they the same. Jealousy and envy, they kind of like one and the same. It seemed like, you got jealousy, then you got envious. I think, you jealous of something, then you're gonna be envy. You could be envious of the individual based on the things that they do have or they possess. But let me look at something right quick in Exodus 20. Before I can covet. Hold on. Now that ain't. Anyways, I go back because I go back to it. Talk to me and one of the brothers. We was talking about this some years ago. But yeah, though, Cam, it's they the same. That was an incorrect statement I made. If that's what you heard, as far as in jealousy and envy being different. But with that being said, man, we're gonna go ahead and close out and feast a little bit before the sun go down, or just do a little something before the sun go down, and keep rejoicing. For real, my Judah, you should have popped them on the hand. Let's face Jerusalem and go ahead and close it on out. Go ahead, bro.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.